Hello everyone, Joe Malone here, coming to you live from Dallas Trading Floor. I hope that everybody had a nice Thanksgiving Day weekend. I know that I did. And maybe if I can get there we go, if I can get my live going on my TikTok, there we go, we'll try again. There we go. Okay, had a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but I think we're live on both systems now, which is good. Good, I could adjust the camera there a little bit so you can see my ugly mug. And so let's get into it. Well, the market has been pulling back a little bit. I was shaking out of Tesla, looking for another re-entry point, but very nice move on that on that stock. I'll probably be back in again when it gets a little bit some more support, but currently there is a breakout on AMD, and I want to kind of show you that here in a second. And I'm probably going to be moving into a little bit more into AMD. I've always in it before, but I may move a little bit more. The market's still in a confirmed uptrend. Just wanted to bring that to your attention, but we're down a tad, about $9 on the overall NASDAQ. So we are pulling back a little bit. The S&P is pulling back, so is the Dow Jones, but we're still in that confirmed uptrend. So that indeed is a good thing. Just wanted to show you the spider and see how it's pulled back basically to the pivot. And this is the world's largest ETF, and many people have their entire net worth in this. Pulled back to 361.69. The key level on the spider is right about 360. Actually, it shows here at 358.75. But basically, the key level on the spider, which is the S&P 500, is about 360, and we're still above that, so that's good. The trends are up. We have with the 21-day exponential still moving up. We also have movement up on the 40-day, and we're well above, of course, the 200-day. So we're still pretty good there. We're definitely seeing a little bit of weakness in the market. So be careful. I'm sort of kind of being cautious, setting my stop losses very, very tight, and then if I'm getting stopped out, then I'm waiting for another opportunity. So that's a key thing, is when the market runs up, you want to kind of get ready for a little bit of a pullback, which is what we're having today. And then once that happens, once that pullback happens, then you want to get you want to start moving your stop losses up. And typically, when I'm in this kind of position, I'm looking at about a 2.5% stop loss as opposed to the normal 7% stop loss. So that's kind of what I'm looking at in terms of my stops. Also want to take a look at the let's see. Yeah, I want to look at AMD, and this is really interesting. I just went in and bought a full position for another one of my portfolios. I'm already have a full position on this stock in the small portfolio. As you can see, we have a double bottom. That is a very, very bullish pattern. We are in a market pullback, but yet this is pulling up. That's very bullish. We have a very strong, as you can see, we have a very, very strong buying here, and we have pulled above this key level, which is 86.72. We're at 92.13. We're up almost $5 or about 5%. I think that if we can clear this 94.28. then I think we'll be moving up. I'm trying to build a larger position in it, as I think that we may be moving up. But AMD is really tough to gauge. It really is. Now, even though we are moving up on AMD, I was sold out of Tesla this morning, basically at the 570 level. Let's see what happens with Tesla. If it pulls back tomorrow, then we kind of want to wait. But I do think that we will see a reversal, probably at about the 530 level or thereabouts. I'm gonna try to be on the trade alerts on this one, because this is another opportunity. We did have some resistance right about 600, so I think that there possibly is a $70 move between here and the end of the year if it pulls back to about a 530 level, which I do think that there's a good possibility that it'll pull back to about a 530 level. And of course, I'll be keeping you abreast of this with the action trade alerts on this one, because this might be a nice little nice little gain towards the end of the year. But right now, it's pulled back. Just want to kind of show you my current holdings. I did sell a few things. I was stopped out of a few things. Currently, I'm still in Cloudflare. It's down a little bit, but it's up overall. I do have a $70 call on one of my positions there, so I probably will be out of this one. This has run very nicely. Up on Tupperware, but it is pulled back today again as well. Blink charging, I do have this protected with an option. Progeny, I just have a very small position in this one, sort of a pilot position to see what's happening. Hasn't really making any decisions. I'm trying to accumulate in AMD. It's moved up 5% today. Also, PayPal seems to be moving. It's moved off to a very nice base. Of course, we indicated that we were going into that, into PayPal basically last week, based on a very nice cup and handle base. And then I'm also in Palantir. Now, Palantir is a tough one to play because it's very volatile, but I do anticipate if it steadies up at about the $23, $24 level, I'll probably be back in. But I want to wait until an uptick happens for that. So that's kind of how I'm trading. Just wanted to kind of give you a little indication. This is my current portfolio in the small portfolio, and of course this is available to everyone just by going to www.DallasTradingFloor. And as you can see, I'm half in cash. I did sell, and I just want to show you this. I did sell Form Factor, and we had a 28-day holding period on that, about a 31% gain on that, so that's pretty good. We also sold out of Tesla this morning. Basically, my sale sold out at $568.94 for a 23% increase in 12 days, so that's pretty good as well, and that kind of gives you there. Now, currently, I'm looking possibly to increase my position in AMD. I haven't done that yet, but I have one full position in AMD, and it is moving very nicely. And I do suspect that if it does move above this 92, that it may be going higher, much higher. So I may be adding to this position this week. It's up 5% basically in a few days. So very, very nice on that as well. So without further ado, let's get into some of the questions. Thanks for holding on here, and see how it goes. And this is Lilius. Hi Jim, sold my stop loss sold today to Tesla today, and yes, I made a great profit. I'm thinking Tesla will go through the roof 21st with the S&P inclusion. Just trying to read this here. Should I rebuy? Well, absolutely. I think you should, but just let's wait until it pulls back just a little bit. I want to kind of pull up that chart here to kind of give everybody out there that is sort of, Tesla bear like I am. I'm Tesla bear. Tesla bull like I am. I'm Tesla bull. Kind of an idea of kind of, where we could possibly buy this again, because, it's pulled back a little bit, but I do believe it's going to probably pull back maybe this week. Who knows? I'm thinking that we've seen some resistance right about this level here. So let's see if we can see. So right about the 555 level, I do think that there's a little bit of there's a little bit of a floor there. So let's wait a little bit on this one. Let's see how it trades tomorrow. See if it pulls back. I think it's going to pull lower than this 555. I think it's going to pull about 530, 535. And then once that happens, that's basically right here. Yeah, basically right here. Then I think it will reverse and go higher. And I do believe it's going to go higher into the new year. So here's the most important thing. Hopefully you're on the action trade alerts. I will definitely send out an action trade alert on this when I think it's time to get back into Tesla again. So it's so easy to do that. Just go over here to Dallas Trading Floor. and then it says subscribe to free trade alerts, first and last name, and then your email address. Hit that subscribe button, and you're good to go, and you'll get that trade alert. And that hooks up with my my email system so that I can bulk email out to everybody and get that trade alert. Get that trade alert out. So excellent. Okay, thoughts on FCX? Let's take a look at FCX. FCX. All right, Freeport McMoran. This is a good stock, by the way. This is sort of a proxy for the copper industry. It's one of the largest mining companies in the world and very, very well run. Pulled back a little bit today, 23.34. Here's my problem with the mining companies in general. And I'm not trying to be negative on this, but commodities right now, we're in a deflationary environment, everybody. What I mean by that is that actual assets are going down in price, and cash is actually increasing in price. I know that sounds hard to believe, but just think of it. You have many buildings in many areas of the country where they have restaurants and things like that. They're not paying rent, so the value of those buildings have gone down. So we are in a deflation, at least temporarily, we're in a deflationary period. Typically in deflationary periods, stocks that deal in commodities such as metals typically do worse. Now, Freeport McMoran has been doing well, but it's pulled back. I'd be a little bit concerned about that. It does have a 96 relative strength, and the checklist is excellent at 8 out of 9. So I can't really fault this stock, but I'm not sure that it's time yet. I don't think this is a really good buy point. Let's look at the weekly chart to see if there's anything. Yeah, this is just a straight up. The last buy point on this was a cup with handle first stage at 1363, but that was way back basically in March. So before this whole run came, I just wouldn't. I would watch this one. I would get ready to buy this potentially, but I wouldn't buy this until it pulled back to the 21-day exponential at about $20.70. So I wouldn't be in this one currently, but those are my thoughts on it. I would watch this one. It's a very, very strong stock, but I think that and it does have some exposure to gold. Let's look at another one that I really like. It's called Franklin Nevada. FNV is the symbol on that, and this one is it's been down, but it is moving back up, and this one should do very much better in this environment. But again, this is not buyable currently because it's below the 200-day moving average. So I can't really recommend that one either. So with Freeport, I'd kind of hold on, but I wouldn't buy it, put it on the watch list. But I don't think it's time right yet for it. Zoom earnings today. Should we ride the wave? Here's what I would do if I was with Zoom. And you may not like me telling you this. You still have time to sell it. Sell it before earnings. Sell it before earnings. Because very, very likely this will pull back. And it is pulling back. So, yeah, blow this puppy. Blow this puppy. It is going to reverse off of that 40-day line. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think it's time to blow on Zoom. As you can see, we have a downward trend, and we're coming into earnings. Those are two things saying that it's time. The party is the party's over with. At least for the time being, not necessarily forever, but I think it's time to potentially blow this thing right before earnings, and then wait and see how it does. And then if it does great, buy it back. But we do have some signs here that it's going to pull back sharply tomorrow, more than likely, because as you can see, we have negative earnings. No, we don't have negative earnings, but we have some sell signals here. Let's look at the weekly chart. Okay, yeah, and we definitely have a downward trend, as you can see, on that. So it seems to be reversing, but I want to see it move above this 40-day line before I want to buy it again. I want to see it move above that little red line there. So I think right now we have to be a little bit careful. Let's see how it does through earnings, and if it moves up after earnings and I'm wrong, then it's a great time to buy. But right now it tried and it failed. It tried here and then it pulled back. So more than likely we're going to see this thing pull lower after earnings. So that's where I would be. I don't think you should ride the wave. I think you should get off and let another wave come in. So kind of, get ready for the next big wave, but sell, make your earnings, and skedaddle and wait. Bought work at 39, sold it today for 45. Wow, that's excellent, Ollie. Can't beat that with a stick. That certainly beats work. Great. I thought I would say that, yeah. Okay, let's look at the weekly chart. Look at that go. Wow, go daddy go. That is awesome. Ollie, that's awesome. It just broke out like all get out. Had good earnings. Sometimes it happens this way. This is, when it happens this way, everybody is happy because it pulled back up. So, hang on. I mean, had a nice movement up, and then it pulled below the 50. I mean, the 200 day, and then it's pulled right above the 200 days. So we may be seeing this one. This may be going the other way, which is a good 8 out of 9. Let's look at the ownership. Yeah, it's great. So congrats, man. Congrats. I think it's good that you sold it because this one possibly, coming into earnings, it's always a little bit of a risk. You can make money coming into earnings, but just be really careful because they do reverse, and when they reverse, sometimes it's pretty nasty. But here's the thing: you can buy and sell and buy and sell and buy and sell. Just because you sold it doesn't mean you can't buy it back later. So I think that's terrific. Congrats. That's an excellent move. $6 $6 move in one day on the stock below $100. That's the way to do it. Can you suggest on QE or Corvo? Well, I'm going to take a look at Corvo first. Corvo has been running really nicely. I'm out of this one. I was waiting for this, and then now it seems to be running. So, go figure. Let's look at the daily chart on it. Yeah, it's moved nicely. It's had a nice gap. Very nice. Let's take a look at the checklist it's got. It's got a 100% checklist, but that doesn't get better. It's increasing fund ownership. That is good. Let's look at the weekly chart to see the trend. Let's see if we can. Yeah, unfortunately, there's no real. You can buy this one, but the proper buy point is on this consolidation base at about a 136. So this is a little bit tricky to buy this one. Really, the only way you can buy this is at the 10 or the 21-day line. That's the 10-day line, and that is the 21-day line, and on a pullback to that. So it's just I know this is frustrating, and I'll probably be wrong on this one, but I would be careful buying this one. I do think that it will pull back eventually to that 10-day line. Now, once it pulls to the 10-day, with a trend like this, with an overall trend like this, I think that we're good. But I don't want to buy it this extended right now. It's just I think it's a little bit, it's not exactly the right entry point. Good stock though. Let's look at Chewy, CHUY. Look at Chewy there. Chewy holding. Yeah, okay, it's pulled back a little bit, but still the overall trend's good on Chewy. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, the overall trend is very good. We last buy point was a cup with handle, 23.96, and it's 23. Yeah, this is totally buyable at this point. Now I would wait until this thing reverses, but this is absolutely buyable. I would wait on this one until we had an uptick. Right now we're in a downtick on this one. I would put this right now we're on a downtick. You see, it's red here. Okay, but if it changes direction, this is the buy point. So what I'm going to do here, and I think this is a good one. Let's look at. I just want to do the smell test. Okay, 5 out of 9, and I can't buy this one. It's just not good enough. It's a good stock, but it just doesn't meet all the criteria. 60 is the relative strength. I'd have to pass on Chewy. Now Corvo is different. Corvo, go back to Corvo, QRVO. I definitely think Corvo is watch listable. Yeah, okay. The biggest problem with Corvo is there's not really a good place to buy it. The only place you can really buy it is probably off that 21-day right there. and that's at about the 145 level. It's 146 right now. 84 relative strength. I'm liking that. I just want to look at the weekly stats here. Yeah, we have increasing fund ownership. That's excellent. We have increasing sales. That's excellent. We're a little bit down on the volume, but overall looks very good. Corvo is a watch list. It's not a buy right now, but it's definitely a watch list. So, just to reiterate, QE I would say no. Corvo I would say watch list. Let's take a question from TikTok. I've been talking here. Here we go. Okay. Should I buy Moderna now, or is it too late? Let's look at Moderna. I think it's MRD. Is that Moderna? MRDA, I think it is. No, that's Mass Mutual. Let me see if I get the symbol from Moderna. Just see if I can. I think it may be a little mRNA. That's it. Let's do that. mRNA. I think Moderna is a little bit, yeah, it's gapped up. Look at that. It's up $25 today. Unbelievable. Well, the buy point on the consolidation was 95. Oof. That is really too hard. I wouldn't buy this one. I hate to tell you this. The checklist is good. And the fund ownership is good, but I think it's too late on this one. I think you have to wait for a consolidation on Moderna. I think you do. I think buying at this level is going to be a little bit risky. Little bit risky to buy Moderna, but it's a good stock, and it's going to get better. Thoughts, Ollie? Thoughts on GME? Let's look at GME. GME. Okay, let's look. GameStop. This is just off the top of my head, I do have a concern on this stock, and that is it is retail stock, and retail stocks are, I haven't been that high on retail stocks as of late, just because of the situation. But this one's a good one. I mean, out of the retail stocks, this is a good one. 99 relative strength. Let's look at the checklist. 6 out of 9. That definitely passes. Increasing fund ownership barely, but still. And we have the last was a consolidation base at $6.47 at 1676. Can you buy this thing? Wow, good question. Wow. Okay, this is buyable. This by the way, this stock is buyable, but it is buyable really at the about the $14 level. Now, here's what you're going to have to do on this one. Set an order to buy this one at about $14. Okay, let's see if that's right. Yeah, it needs to pull back to that 21-day line. It needs to pull back to that 21-day line, but I definitely think it is buyable at the 21-day line. I do, it does have there are some red flags on this one. I want to show you this. First of all, it has sales that are declining. That's not good for a growth stock. We do have increasing fund ownership. That is good. There is currently a very heavy fund ownership at 86%. Typically, a stock moves the most from about 20% fund ownership on up to about 65% fund ownership. This is a little bit higher than that. But we do have, management's in it at 5%. That's good. We actually even have some banks in it, so that's good. So there's probably some convertible stock there. Overall, I like the stock, but I think that there are better ones out there than GameStop, even though I like the stock. So I'd watch this one. I wouldn't buy this one. I think you can get a stronger one. And on GME, ready to break out with a cup and handle. Well, I don't think there is a. I don't think that the handle has been formed yet on this one only. I think it needs to pull back here a little bit. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It needs to pull back a little bit, but it's not really. This is not really a cup and handle formation. So I think you're going to have to wait on this one a little bit. But watch this one. If it does form a cup and handle, then I think you're in. But I think you can't buy it right at this moment. I think you're going to have to wait just a little bit for it to pull back a little bit, and kind of get ready. But that's a very good call there. Jay, thoughts on LGVW? Let's look at LGVW real quick. LGVW. Let's see if, it's long. Okay, this is a blank check company. Again, on blank check companies, I usually do this when I'm on the show. I don't know enough about what they're going to buy to give you an opinion on either way. Blank check companies are very hard for me because I just don't know what they're buying. I don't have any insider information, so I can't really give you any information on a blank check company. Now, for everybody out there, what a blank check company is sort of like a pool of funds, and they're going to go out and they're going to buy another company, and then by buying it and then reverse merging into it, they then can immediately issue stock on the stock exchange without having to go through an IPO process. So it cuts the time off of getting onto the exchanges. So that's what a blank check company is. But I typically don't like to buy IPOs unless they've been out there for about really for about 3 months or so. It's just difficult because if I don't know what they're buying, then I can't really get an idea of what is out there. Hey, this is a Reminderful 100. Hey Jim, it's Blue Monday. Can you take a look at Plug and Snap with respective buy points? Cheers. Yeah, it kind of is. It kind of pulled back today, but if you had your stop losses set, you probably did okay. Let's look at Plug. Plug has just been on fire, and I was looking at this chart this morning, to kind of see where is it viable. Now, one thing about Plug, and this is the weekly chart, it's pulled up a little bit, and the weekly chart looks good, but it seems to be hugging this 21-day very carefully. So let's see if let's see where it's going. We definitely have increasing fund ownership. The checklist is 7 out of 9. That's definitely good enough. 6 out of 9 is my minimum. We have an ascending. Oh, this is very nice. We have an ascending relative strength line, and we're well above the 200-day average, which is good. We have had a bit of a pullback today, obviously, and this is the weekly chart. So let's go to the daily chart to kind of see how it's faring. Okay, yeah, we pulled back, but we're now in upward territory. So this is sort of a price finding mechanism here. Yeah, so we definitely have some good momentum. So this is a powerful stock. This is a powerful stock. The question is it viable at this level? Wow, I want to kind of see what it does tomorrow. I think you want to watch this one. I don't think this is a great place to buy it. I think that where you really want to buy it is let's see how it closes, and see if it pulls back tomorrow. If it pulls back and it moves higher, then you might want to buy it. But right now, I don't think there's an opportunity. The last buy point on this one was the consolidation back here in October at 14. Well, actually, I'm sorry, in August at 14.35. It's currently 26.39. So it's very extended. Definitely, you're going to have to buy. If you're going to buy this one, you're going to have to buy it off the 21-day line, and that's basically right here. This is really the only buy point that I can see is this 21-day line. So it pulled back to that, but it immediately went back up. So let's see if it pulls back to this 21-day line and reverses. If it does, then you've got to buy. But right now, unfortunately, you can't buy this one. Well, you can. It's just extended. You can always buy it. So trust me on that one. Apple. I was looking at the Apple chart this morning, and I think that Apple may be turning the corner here. I'm hoping it does, because I certainly want to get back into Apple myself. I've been out really since, on Apple. I've been out really since here. This is sort of where I left it. I left it was right about here, about this level. And why did I believe it at that level? Well, that was when it split 4-for-1. I wasn't lucky to get the peak. Actually, I got it right about here. I have to look back at my records. I got it right about there, and then it split 4 for 1, and then it's been in a downward trend ever since. You can see this is the trend. Now, the question is, how high does it have to pull to basically change trend? I believe that we have to be over, in order to break the trend, we're going to have to be at about 122. We're going to have to be right about here. So right now, the time on Apple is to wait. Wait and see if it can move above about 122. If it can move above about 122, I think it's buyable again. This is good. The relative strength is moving higher. That's good. 85. Let's look at the checklist. The checklist is improving. 6 out of 9. It was 5 out of 9 last week. So the checklist is improving. And we have increasing fund ownership. It's still very, very strong. Look at that. So I don't think it's buyable at this point. I think you want to see it, wait until it goes above 122 before you buy it. So that's my opinion. Hi, Jim. Time to take profits in top. It's down today. You know what? I think you might be right on that. What I did is I tightened my stop loss on top just for this reason, because I do think you're right. I think we're getting time. It's getting time to take profits. Let's see. It's 33.60. Let's see where I set my stop loss on this one. I have to check because I don't remember. On Tupperware, I have it at 33.50. So I'm right there. Basically very near to taking profits on this one. 33.64. I think that, if this pulls back one more day, I have my stop loss currently set at 33.50. So if it pulls below that, I'm sold out. A very good question. Very, very good question. I think that it may be time to sell this one. And again, I just wanted to point you over here to the small portfolio here, and I have on these where it says stop loss set. This is where I've set my stop losses, and I have a stop loss set at 33.50. So I'm anticipating that if this has one more day of weakness, I will probably be sold out of it, which is okay because we did pretty good on that one. And I think we have some other ones coming in that may be good. Especially, I think AMD may be taking a run. I'm hoping. AMD is such a tough one. Oh, yeah. I think we're going to move higher on AMD. Yeah, okay. So this one we're just right out of the buy range on that one. Anyways, so thank you very, very much for that question on Tupperware. LSPD. Let's look at LSPD real quick. LSPD. And, Lightspeed, Canada-based cloud company. Interesting. This is this is an IPO, and essentially, you see, you only have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 months. That's very good. We definitely have enough. We have a kind of a fast-moving one. 95 is the relative strength, so that's very good. But it's downward pointing at this point, so we couldn't buy it right at this tick, as you can see. Let's look at the weekly chart. Let's see if there's any buy point on this at all, which I don't think there is. No, there is absolutely no place to buy this except for the 21-day exponential. And what do I mean by that? Well, that's this little green line here, and that's the only place to buy it. So you would have to buy it at about 51, and I just don't know if that's possible. Let's see. We've got very nice increasing sales. We definitely like that in a growth stock. That's very, very important, everyone, is that in a growth stock, we're looking for increasing sales. Increasing profits is good too. I'm not saying it isn't, but increasing sales is really what we want to see. We definitely have nice fund ownership that's moving up. We're still in a loss position on it, so it definitely is a growth stock. As you can see, the cash flow on this one is negative. Let's see what else can we see. Let's look at the checklist. Checklist definitely passes. 7 out of 9, so we're good there. Fund ownership is up. So yeah, this is buyable, but there's just not a good place to buy it. I'd have to pass on this one, and I'd have to wait until there was a buy point, but it's definitely worth putting on the watch list. There just isn't a buy point on this one right now, so this one's very, very tricky to buy. If you were buying this one, you have to be willing to lose a little bit of money because there's a very good chance it's going to pull back before it moves higher. Pushed out Tesla at 468. Yeah, Okay, nice, nice. Nice. I think you can. Let's just wait until this thing pulls back. I'm looking to see it. I'm looking to Tesla to pull back to about the 530 level, 535 level. Don't know if it'll do that though. I mean, that's tough to say if it'll do that within the next few days, but that's kind of where I'm looking, because I do think that there is resistance on Tesla right about 600, and there is also, but there might be a floor. Yeah, see, okay, I'm going to show you let's look at the chart again. Here's the chart on it. There's obviously the first pivot at 502. That's definitely a pivot here at 502. But there is a little bit of floor here. You see, there's a little bit of floor here, and that is approximately, let's see if I can give you an idea. That's about the 547 level. So if let's see if it pulls back to that level and bounces. Very hard to tell intraday. Let's look at the 15-minute chart to see. Yeah, there definitely was a pullback towards the end of the day here. As you can see, there's definitely a pullback, some selling. So let's see how this thing moves tomorrow. Let's see how this thing moves tomorrow. This was the shakeout here. Yeah, this was the shakeout here as we're speaking. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this was essentially the shakeout today. It moved up. It hit resistance at the 600 level. It hit resistance at 600, and once it hit that resistance, boom, it went back down. Of course, it overcorrected, and then it came up. But there seems to be a floor about at 550 here. See, that's about the floor that I believe that there is, about 550. Maybe a little bit lower. Yeah, there we go, about 550. As you can see with this this one there. So I think that let's let it pull back a little bit and see if it pulls below 550 into the 545 level. We might be able to buy this one again, but I think you want to hang on a little bit and see if it bounces. So very good. Congrats. I hope you made some money on. I think you probably did. Hey Kyle, Jim. Can we get into Grow Generation, GRWG? Yeah, this has been doing incredibly well. This was on my list of stocks that are not on an index but yet have had incredible growth, and this is definitely one of them. GRWG, Grow Generation. I think it's based in Denver, I believe. So let's look at it. Pulled back a little bit today. So here we go with Grow Generation. We had a very nice earnings. We came through earnings. I like that. This is one you want to be really careful holding through earnings. And now that we're through earnings, we can start looking at possibly getting it again. Now it looks as if it's right at the 21-day line. You see, that's this green. You can hardly see it, but it's pulled back to that green. It looks like it's bouncing off of that. So that's a buy point there potentially. The last true buy point on a cup with handle was basically was way back here, and that was only at 1524. So it's extended a lot since then. It's tough to buy it in this position, to be honest, because it's so far extended. But it's got a really good checklist. 8 out of 9. Also excellent ownership. It's also got, and this is really important for a growth stock, it's got that increasing sales. I like that. Here's the thing about Grow Generation. Not time to buy Grow Generation yet, but I think it's good to put this one on watch list. GRWG. I'll try to put this one on the watch list because I do think this is a good one. Just not the right time to buy it yet. There's not a good enough formation, but it's definitely watch listable. So that is a good thing. Hey Jim, thoughts on Solo? So are you mean Solo or Sonos? Anyways, let's look at Solo. SOLO. Great. Here we go. Wow, look at that. Interesting. Okay, Canada-based designs and manufactures electric vehicles. This is a little bit of a Me Too product, sounds like to me. There was a viable place on a consolidation base at 415, It's 747. I just don't think you want to buy this one. I think it's a little bit too speculative. Let's look at the charts here. Checklist is 44. No, you don't want to buy this one. Even though it has a relative strength of 99, that's a great relative strength. I think this is just too speculative at this point to buy this one. I think it's just a little bit speculative to buy this one. But I appreciate the thing. Happy Monday, Moderna. Here's the thing about JV, about Moderna. Symbol mRNA. I think it is mRNA. No. Let's see, mRNA. Moderna. There we go. And I talked about this a little bit earlier on this chart. Take a look at this chart a little bit earlier. It's up very strongly today, $25, essentially a gap up. The question is can you buy it on a gap up? You definitely can buy it on a gap up. I do think that they're going to have lots and lots of orders, of course. 7 out of 9, very good. Looking at that fun. I do think, though, you want to wait until then there's a pullback on this. I don't know if you're going to get a pullback, but the 21-day line is 121. It's 152. I just think it's a little bit far extended. You could buy it here, but I think you want to set your stop loss very, very tight. If you bought this thing right now, you would want to set your stop loss only about 2.5% below where you bought it, because this thing can snap back, but it's definitely going higher with a chart like that. It's definitely going higher, but it could be very difficult. Should I sell Amazon? Bought at 3,300. Let's look. It's Amazon, of course, is symbol is AMZN, which is Amazon, and it's sort of been in this trading range for a while. Looking at the weekly chart, there is a buy point on it, but we're significantly below that at 35.35, at 35.52.25. This has actually changed a little bit, but we're definitely back. Okay, it's 31. Should I sell Amazon? Bought at 3,300. You know what? I don't think you should probably yet. I know you're down a little bit here, but let's look at that one. Bought at 3,300. Yeah, that was a little bit high. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like, the trend is below the 21-day. I hate to tell you to do this. But I think that you might want to, Glenn, you might want to, as this hit the top, boy, it's hard to say. It's had 2 buy points in it, and it's failed on both of them. Yeah. It looks like it's in a consolidation. It looks like it's in a consolidation. Now, what I'm talking about a consolidation, well, when it gets in a consolidation, it's creating a new base. So the question is, how long are you going to hold this? If you're going to hold it for a while, then you'd be okay. But if you want to swing trade this one, I'd sell it. I think it definitely is going to go higher, but the question is when. And let's look at that chart. Yeah, it's broken. It hasn't broken trend yet. Trend is, this is trend. Okay, and then from here we do have a downward trend. Now the question is, can we find a place to buy this thing? Okay, here's what I would do on this. Yeah, okay. It's got a downward trend. You know what? I would sell this based on this chart. I would sell this, and if you got an upward tick, then you could buy it back. But this is not. It is in a downward trend. Right now, Amazon is in a downward trend, so this could definitely go lower. It could definitely go lower, Glenn. You might want to be very, very careful. Should we have a buy point for Tesla? No, we don't have a buy point on Tesla right now, because it has pulled back. The standard buy point is still existing, and that is the 502 buy point. So it's really only buyable on a strict basis from about 502 up 5% above that. So I do think it's buyable if it gets down to that level. Now, if it was 5% above 525, so that's the buy point on Tesla is going to be about 500 plus 5%, or approximately 525. So until we pull back to the 525 in reverse, we don't really have a buy point on Tesla. It may pull higher, but until we get back to about that 525, 530 level, we really don't have a buy point. So we could, this thing could just reverse and go higher, but right now it is in danger of pulling back a little more until it starts to reverse. Yeah, and it's pulled back down. So this is interesting. I want to show everybody this. Okay, I wasn't watching this one. Since we've talking, it's pulled back even further to 560, 567. Now I sold this morning when it pulled below 570 is where I sold out. It's probably going to go lower. I do think that the buy point is going to be when it reverses right here at about the 5. Let's see if I can get the thing to show it there. Yeah, we go. About the 525. There we go. Okay, that's that. Okay. I think that where that right there, about 525, that's where you could start buying it again. But I do think we're going to possibly see a pullback and then a reversal. Now, when we see that reversal, then it's probably time to buy again. But right now, we want to wait until it pulls back to about at least 525, because the buy point is still on this one. The buy point is still 502, and then of course the buy zone is the buy point plus 5%, or about 525. So that's currently kind of where it's at on that. So it's time to wait a little bit, and then we can possibly move higher. Let's see if I have something from Check Talk. Thanks for holding on here. Let's see. Which software do you use to trade? Well, any number of them. One of the ones I really like is Thinkorswim by Td Ameritrade, and basically you get it for free. All you have to do is sign up for Td Ameritrade, and it's included with their brokerage account. They have no fee trading. I mean, it doesn't cost you anything to trade stocks. So I think that's a pretty good deal. And that's Td Ameritrade, and of course, that's a really good one to do. I also use MarketSmith as well to look at some of the buy points. Sorry, I missed your comments on what happened this morning when the market tanks and on C3 AI. Well, there was a pullback. There's a lot of the market is very, very touchy right now. I think that a lot of it has to do with political things that are beyond anyone's control right now. So there is a little bit of angst on that. So we have to be careful. These times can be good. I mean, you just don't want to get too exposed. I'm about half in cash, and I want to show you that. I sold a number of positions this morning. Fortunately, I was able to sell them all at gains. So, but this is my current. This is how my current portfolio looks on the small portfolio, and that is, as I said, I sold my Tesla. I sold Form Factor this morning. I sold them both, as you can see. Form Factor and Tesla, I sold them both, and I'm about 50% in cash. Now, the one position that I do want to probably beef up is this one, Advanced Micro Devices. Is up about $5 today, and I think it's beginning its move. But who knows how that's gonna turn out. Also, PayPal's moving very nicely, but these were both bought off proper basis. That's why it's so important to buy off a proper basis. And hold them until they start to make their move. Okay, let's see. JV, Tesla down at closing due to S&P scheduled announcement. We'll see. We'll see how Tesla trades tomorrow. But I do think that it's eventually going to trade higher. Please, insight on WWR. Let's look at WWR quickly here. See if I can give you a good idea on WWR. And WWR, wastewater resources. Boy, this is a tough one to trade. Wow, I don't know about this. I don't like this chart let's see if I can go to a weekly chart, see if I like something better. I don't like this chart. I don't like this chart at all. This has a downward trend, as you can see. Even though it's popped up here, there's something going on. Can't see what it is. It looks like it has changed direction. It's a 98 relative strength. Oh gosh, tough. This is, yeah, I can't buy this one. It just 4 out of 9 just isn't good enough for me. I think you have to wait on this one a little bit. It definitely looks like it's changed direction, and we definitely have increasing fund ownership. It looks like it's changed direction, but it just doesn't. This is just a little bit too risky. WWR just a little bit too risky right yet. Let's wait until it gets above about $15 before you buy it. This one, I think it's just too penny stocky for me. Not gonna. Unfortunately, Jay, I wish I could recommend this one. I'd love to recommend them when they go, but I can't get behind that one just based on its chart. So let's go to the next question. Oh, apps. I like apps. So this is Digital Turbine, and I've owned this one. I was shaken out of this one, but I may be back into this one. I think this one's very good. Yeah, Digital Turbine. Thank you, Vinesh. Thank you for this. This is this is one of my kind of stocks. It's up $4 today. 98 relative strength. That's excellent. The biggest problem I see on this is, like I see on so many of these high flyers, once they start going, there's just no place to buy it. I mean, the last buy point literally on this one was way back on this consolidation at $7.84. It's now $44.98. So this is a tough stock to buy. It's tough to find the right place. Really, about the only place you can buy this one is off of the 21-day exponential, and we're almost at that. So you could buy this if it pulled below about $40.87. You could buy it. I think you want to wait on this one a little bit, but it's still really good. It was pulling back today. Let's look at the daily to see if there's any place to buy this. Yeah, this is really about the only place to buy it is on that 37.68. When it pulls back to that 21-day line, that's not a bad place to buy it. It seems like it's just totally on that 21-day line. So that's a very good place to buy it, as you can see. And I do expect it will pull back to approximately this line is that I've drawn here. That's really through the green line here. And when it reverses off of that, I think that's where you want to buy it. Relative strength is 99, and look at that volume. So yeah, I don't know if you're going to get a chance to buy this one. This is the only thing about this, because it does look like it is making a move higher, but it looks like it's at the top of the channel. And I think once it reverses down, then you can, if it reverses down to this channel here, as it pulls up, then you can buy it. But this is a very, very good stock. You should definitely watch this one. 8 out of 9, increasing fund ownership. This has really got all the bells and whistles. Yeah, look at that. It's got this very, very nice, gains in sales. That's what you want to see on a growth stock. Very nice gains in terms of the fund ownership. It also is at a very nice area for fund ownership. It's 38%. Typically, the biggest growth in a stock comes from about 20% fund ownership on up to about 65, and this is at 38. So we definitely have some runway to go. And another thing about this, it has got positive earnings. Even though this is highly speculative, you're making money on this stock. Also, you've got return on equity of 31%. This has really got all everything you want in a stock. So Dinesh, this is excellent. I think that you're going to have to wait until this thing pulls back to about 40, but I think it's buyable. I think you want to put this on your, radar, and possibly buy it on a pullback to about 40. So tremendous. Apps, APPS, and that's Digital Turbine. Let's look at Space, which is Virgin Galactic, SPCE. Now I've been in the stock before. I haven't owned it since the blow off top, but it looks like it may be ready to make a run on it. And this is interesting because we finally have a cup, a second stage, 27.55. So let me put that out there, 27.55. Let me just check a few things before I do that. The checklist is still not good enough really for me. We have increasing fund ownership. Now, this is a highly speculative stock, but it is buyable on a half position potentially at 27.55. It's right now at 26.61, so it's a little bit below. Let's see how it moves tomorrow. If this thing moves convincingly above 27.55, I think you might have a potential to buy this, but this is highly speculative. Don't buy any more than don't buy any more than one half a position. Don't buy a full position on this one. But it does look good. It does look good. It has one black mark, and that is that it only has 5 out of 9 on the checklist. But other than that, I think it's buyable at 27.55. Symbol is SPCE on that. Okay. Okay, let's see. Questions from TikTok. What do you think about the market and aftermarket sell-off on ZM? Not surprised. Not surprised. ZM is a great stock, but it's run up too far too fast, so it's going to correct. And so let's look at ZM. Let's look at Okay, no, it's up in after hours. It looks like. No, let's look at the daily. No, it's up in after hours. It's up in after hours, $6.27. So, hey, I might be all wrong on this one, Dinesh. But the earnings are due. You know what? I just let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's see how their earnings are. Let me see if I can get any news on their earnings. I don't know if I can. Okay, it says. Okay. Just don't know yet. Just don't know, Dinesh. But this one might be good out. But wait until wait until the earnings on this one. Wait. Thoughts on ETHE? The Great Shell. Okay, interesting. I have not heard about this one. Don't know much about this one. ETHE, and this is for Ethereum. Oh, unfortunately, ETHE, is that right? Yeah, I don't know anything about this one, Doug. It doesn't pull up on my system, so it may not be listed yet. So, Harris, let's look at DraftKings, one of my faves. DKNG is the symbol for DraftKings. Pull back a little bit today, but right at a buy point. This one might be buyable very, very shortly. We have essentially a buy point on a cup formation at 64.19. The question is, can we really buy it at this level? This is a really deep cup. So let's see. Consolidation at 44.79. It's at 52. Okay, let's go to the daily chart. See if there's any place to buy this thing. Pull back to the 10-day line. Wow. It looks like we're in a trend here, so this is good. We have a trend. If it touches that 10-day line, it's possibly buyable. And that is going to be right about 48.02. So it's got to pull back a little bit more before you can buy it, Harris. About 48.02 would be my recommendation for that one. 48.02, at least in the near term. And what I mean by the near term is about the next 2 or 3 days. Anything beyond that, you really can't tell. All right. Oh, Funko. Funko and Apple. I don't know why Funko is so big. I guess because it's fun. But I don't know how fun the chart is. So let's look at Funko. FNKO. Funko. Yeah. Yeah, this is just not a buyable chart. I just want to show you, Jays. See, we have a downward trend, as you can see. This is a classic downward trend. Yeah. So even though we did break the trend here, it's still, this is not kind of the thing we know. We don't want to see this. We do have an uptrend though in the last few days. That's pretty good. But it's pulled back to this line. There was a buy point at 778. It's 878 right now. I don't think I'd be in this one. It's just not. It's just a tough chalk, this trade. Yeah, 4 out of 9. And it does have increasing fund ownership, but I just wouldn't be in this one. This is not strong enough stock, unfortunately. Funko. Apple, I do think Apple, if it moves above 122 on Apple, I think that you have a potential on Apple. But you need to see a trend change on Apple before it's really buyable. Once again. All right. So, thoughts on Carnival Cruise Line CCL? I would say, I hope that you're not in this thing. I just hope you're not. I know that everybody, back a few months ago, I was trying to explain, don't buy Hertz, don't buy Carnival. And I just can't get excited about this chart. I think it looks horrible. I just, the world post-COVID is not going to be good for Carnival. At least not for 5 years or so. It's just one of those things. Yeah, this is a bad chart. You don't want to buy it. Relative strength of 24, not good enough. Checklist, terrible. Decreasing fund ownership. See, they're starting to bail on this, as you can see. Yeah, this is just not. This is a sucker's bet right now. I mean, they're going to tell you, oh, get into it, and then all the funds are going to sell, and they're going to leave you holding the bag. Don't get near this one. This is radioactive. Let's look at ANO. See if we've got anything there. INO. Innovo. Innovo Pharma. Don't like the trend on this one either. Sorry. Looking at the weekly chart, we have a trend reversal, and it's to the downside. Yeah, there we go, downside. So, yeah, that's a downward trend. Don't like it. It's got a 96 relative strength. That's very good, but it's below, and this is key, it's below this line. And this line is the 200-day moving average. Don't buy this thing. No, this is just bad. It's got a fairly good checklist, 6 out of 9. Fund ownership is going up, but this is not a good chart. Don't buy it. It's just not. It's going to lead to sorrow, I'm afraid to say. Thoughts on NEO and Exper? The Chinese EV stocks have been getting hammered today. I think this is going to fall more. Personally, this is the problem with some of the biggest problem with the Chinese stocks isn't the charts. It's the fact that a lot of their financials don't jive with reality, and a lot of times they're fraudulent. So you got to be very, very careful with Chinese stocks. I don't think it's time to buy this one. I mean, I think there was time to make money and then push your stop loss and then bail, but this one just doesn't. Yeah, this just isn't there. Yeah, I'm sorry to say. I just think you've got to be very careful on this one. Still looks fairly good. I mean, we're still in an upward trend. We're still in an upward trend on NEO, but I think we may be seeing it turn over to the downside. I think we may be seeing that right now. We'll see how it trades the next few days. Put this on the watch list, but don't buy it. Don't buy this one, at least for right now. So that's my thought on NEO. Watch list it, but don't buy it. It may be changing direction to the downside, I'm afraid. Thoughts on BABA? Again, another Chinese stock that I think may be an issue. I think you're about to be careful on BABA. Yeah, it's pulling back too. All the Chinese stocks, unfortunately, are pulling back just based on a lot of things that are out of our control, unfortunately. So I think it'll be difficult. Okay, well, that said, I've spent a whole hour boring you, but we do have some things that if you want to get on the action trailer, it's super easy to do. All you have to do is go to www.dallastradingfloor right here, and then to get the free trade alerts, first and last name and your email address, hit that subscribe button, and then you'll be on that list for those trade alerts. And then basically what I try to do is if I have an action trade alert, like on the buy point on Tesla or something like that, I'll put that out. That's what I did on the last time on Tesla, and I think we made some pretty good money on that. So maybe we can get something where we can make some more money. I'm trying to see if AMD will do that kind of thing, and I've got several other ones in the holster to see if we can make money on those. But because I can't call everybody out on the list, the action trade alerts helps me out a lot. That way I can just blast it out to everybody and hopefully get it out there and so that you can take advantage of it in a timely way. And of course, it's all free, so it's a good way to go. But till tomorrow, I'll be back at 2:30, and I hope that everybody had a good Thanksgiving. Stay safe, and I will see you tomorrow at 2:30. Happy trading.